not just for the fuck of it, I'm going to continue this. This will be the 5th episode of sorts that involves this. This is actually a lighter mood because I've already gotten the other shit out of the way. Now, to be more legitimate about what I'm doing and more productively fun, I'm going to give you the rundown of the kind of shit I will be doing on those gaming channels. The single player will be Let's Plays and whatnot that I can only do by myself. Not saying that I can't do that with other people, I'm just saying that I'd rather do certain Let's Plays by myself. And I also will have it to where you guys, no matter the game mode, can see me fail epically if I do end up failing epically in certain games. I also will grow in knowledge. I may not start off at normal or hard until I get into the game itself. I may just actually get into the game itself before I even show you guys and then restart anew as if it's a new game entirely to me. You will never know because I will never tell you fully. I'll just say basically the same kind of shit that Markiplier does. But I will have experience unless it's brand spanking new. Now, to keep some things realistic, I may do some things that involve me playing multiple times in the game. And sometimes I might actually just start off with me already knowing about the game and knowing inside of the game, and basically me showing you certain things like somewhat Oxhorn mixed with Markiplier. Adorable dogs! I saw dogs, so I had to comment. But that's me getting sidetracked. 2 is where I will be facing up against people that I know that aren't a part of my faction and or are a part of my faction, but will be inside of other Let's Plays. Will not be creating my faction inside of game. And if I end up doing that, it's because I feel like it, and it might be even like a Halo type scenario or something else along those lines. I don't quite know, but I will check it out in due time and possibly play around on that kind of shit. Doom Eternal is one of those things that I probably would play multiplayer, and because I'm better at certain things than my buddy Kyle, which I believe only one of my subscribers would know, maybe a few others, if they've watched the very, very, very beginning episode, which this is going to entice you to look through my channel, as he's one of the people that actually made my channel better, because he's a fundamental piece to my channel. Even though he was only in one episode, maybe 2, I don't fully remember. But, actually no, he was only in 1. Because the second video that has to do with the same person being DJ, who's the dumbass eating cake, and I've made phenomenal for it. He's the one that will also be in amongst my videos. But the second time, there was something that happened that caused Kyle not to be there, and amongst a few other friends. But yeah, I'm getting sidetracked somewhat. Now, channel number 3, like I said, faction. And the only way to get in this faction is to contact me through Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Mainly Facebook and Instagram. I don't usually go on Twitter as Twitter is not my main type of shit. I just created it just to ditz around and see what certain people say and shit like that, just because my dad doesn't get the news on what they say except for when it actually happens. Days or minutes after it actually happens, or a day after it happens. So versus letting him get caught up by news and missing out on some of the things that certain people say, I decided to get it, and I'm not political on any of that. I'm not political at all, as I'm a true independent. But I'm somewhat forced into political views, and I will not be talking about politics in any of this. I'm neither conservative nor am I Democrat. I don't really care for any politics. I'm basically anti-politics on my channels that I will be creating, and on this one mainly. I've just refused to talk about politics. As none of you know my actual name, well, some of you may, but I'm pretty sure none of you are gonna say anything about what my actual name is to know any of my family. And I thank God that I don't have any of my family that's fully connected with me on any media-wise, especially because my family is by multiple different names, so no one will fully know, except for those that know George Holmes. They only know that part, and somewhat the family that's connected with that, if they actually look it up. But I still, even right now, do not and will not connect my family or their views on my channels or any political views on my channels, because it's just non-professional. I'm going to go for full professional on all of this. I will be listening to music whenever I do certain gameplays. Who knows, I might do a single player version of Doom where you'll see me fuck up sometimes, and sometimes you might actually see me pass, such as parts like how I finished earlier today. It wasn't that hard for me to figure out. It took me a few times, but after looking at it, I had to figure out what the fuck to do. But a friend of mine named Kyle, namely the same friend that I talked about at the beginning of this, somewhat, he has not been able to pass certain levels because he didn't know how to pass through it. Well, guess what? I'm a genius. I look at shit. I look into the lore, I look at certain things, and I don't really look at Let's Plays or walkthroughs or anything else like that. I'd rather do it myself than look it up. So, while he had me doing whatever it was that he had me doing, I was playing the game. Mainly. At the same time, I was doing what he was telling me to do. Only reason is, he's a bro. And he's older than me, so I somewhat obey his orders, especially with what him and I are. We're not blood brothers, but we're brothers in arms. So I kind of have to listen to him. And it is my fault for getting into the shit that I'm in, but at the same time, I don't give a fuck. I've mentioned earlier in this channel and whatnot what I am, and I stay true to what I am. And in fact, if you haven't noticed that when I did the live streams back in the day, I had a certain thing on there on what I actually am. A few key hints. But like I've said before, I'll say it again. That's besides the point currently. I'm not going to fully dwell on the past. I'm going to dwell on the present and the future. And that's currently getting off these streets, then starting up all this other shit that I plan on doing. And then from there, I get to see all of you enjoy yourselves and enjoy your life and whatever else you feel like enjoying. And we all make it together. It's only for the betterment of us all if we work together versus work separately. It's just unfortunate that I see certain people working against each other rather than working alongside each other. But, mark my words, everything will come together in due time. But yeah, we'll see as things come along. And y'all be on the ride with me as I go along on this journey. And you'll get to see everything that is of my present and my future along with me on this journey. My past, that's my past. I try and not reflect fully on it, but at the same time I do, to not repeat it. And I dwell upon what my dad tells me more often than not. And even my homies that have gone through the same exact thing as I have. So, all that, and all in all, I'm a man that works on certain shit. I'm a man that will accept people for who they are and what they are, just as they would accept me for what I am and who I am. It's just the way I go. I will not deny somebody of being what I am. At the same time, I would want them to be better, depending on who it is. I've got a lot of baggage that I myself will not delve into, because most of it terrifies the shit out of me. But everything all in all,